and feeling, right now I'm feeling the possibility and the probability of extending health without the story.
Well, we would like you to consider the ceasing of the dance because of a change of interest, not because you've depleted yourself.
Right.
Not because you've gone too far. We'd like you to change the subjects because you're called to a new, more interesting subject, not because you don't have the wherewithal to continue along that subject. And that's sort of what you're talking about with the longevity of life. As your interest about what you're about is here, then the resources to support that will always be there. And there will be a time when your interest changes and when you want to come at it from a different perspective. There's this natural cycling of spirit through these physical bodies. In other words, that's all coming. But you don't need to see it as a limitation. You can see it as the advantage of eternalness that is you, rather than a feeling about your own mortality. And that's the advantage of living in the now. It's now, it's now, it's now, it's now, it's now. And never mind how much more now you've got ahead of you in this body. Now, let now be full, not long. Look at it in terms of the fullness that it is offering you in the now, and the deliciousness that you're able to experience in the now, not how long it will be. In sort of the same idea of experiencing the full flavor of something, just enjoying the full flavor of it, not worrying about the fact that your bowl is becoming emptied of it. Just enjoy the fullness of it in the now. You see what we're getting at? Yeah. All is well with you. We can feel something with you. We feel it with a lot of you, and that is when you have strong energy moving through you, a little bit of focusing opposition causes a bigger rumble strip in your life experience. In our analogy of keeping your car in the lane on the road and being mindful when you start to drift of doing something about it, there are some subjects that are, you might say, riskier to you than others. If you're driving your car along a very high mountain road where there's a big drop-off and no guardrail, you usually are paying attention to where you are on the road more than when you are in a big wide road where it feels like there is less risk. And there are some subjects that are riskier to you than others. Subject of mortality, subjects of physical decline, subjects of diseases, subjects of things going wrong in physical bodies. We're talking specifically to you in this conversation. These are specifically conversations that are riskier, and we use the word risk, we hope in the context of which you are understanding. Those are subjects where you want to be more mindful of where you are going. So you want to be more tuned in, tapped in, turned on. If you are tuned in with your inner being and looking at the subject of one of these diseases, you could be someone who finds the solution for it.
That's right. That just, I felt that.
It depends on where you are as you look. And if you're not there, then don't look. That's what we're saying to you. Once you get into that place of stability, look all you want, because now you're just in that stable place where you are helping with a solution. But if looking causes you to feel the problem, it doesn't help you, it is not good for you, and it's not going to help anyone else. And you have to individually know where you are in that, you see. So sometimes Esther will express a sensitivity she has to some subjects, and others around her will think, well, you just need to buck up a little bit. Just buck up a little bit. What's so wrong with that subject? Well, first of all, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks about anything. It's what your own guidance is telling you. So if you're feeling negative emotion about something, it doesn't mean it's a wrong subject, and it doesn't mean stay off the subject. It means this subject right now is a risky subject for you, because you are running the risk of losing your connection, which is the most important thing that you're wanting to tend to all day, every day. There will be a time when you will thrive on more clients. The more, the better, because the more juices flow. But when juice is summoned that is not allowed to flow, then that's not a good combination. There's an imbalance there. So it's all about balance, isn't it?
It's totally about balance.
Yeah.
I get that.
Yeah.
And the allowing of the contrast and getting back into the vortex and doing that.
So the thing that we want to have accomplished with you, the answer that we want to have given you in a way that you can hear it, and we've felt you coming along with us, so we think it's easy for you to hear this answer because you've lived it through what we just talked about, is don't give in to any idea of depletion. Get your focus upon renewal, because there's no excuse for depletion, because the headwaters are always flowing.
Depletion who?
Yeah. there's just no excuse for it. There's no excuse that is accurate. There's just no excuse to stop the stream from flowing. And you have a little bit, and others have too, convinced yourself that there are just some things that just stop it, like age or like time passing, and there just isn't anything. There isn't anything that stops the flow other than a projection of thought that is in its opposition.
Well, you mentioned fear of expansion, and I may even call that fear of success. When things come at a better level of clientele or income or projects, yeah, there is fear there. The body kind of freaks out. Well, I'm not used to this. I'm very aware of the nuances, like when you're doing artwork, the nuances of the details of the picture we paint.
But don't just gloss over that. What's the fear about? In other words, there's no such thing as fear of success. That's just something people make up. There's no such thing as fear of it. There's fear of not having the success that you want. There's no such thing as fear of success.
You mentioned fear of expansion. I kind of correlated that. When you said it about an hour ago, you talking about we have a fear of expansion. We freak out or tighten up about it and not allow it.
Let's talk about what fear is. Fear is an emotional sensation. It's a realization. All emotions are really a manifestation. It's a manifestation of split energy about something. It is a manifestation of a disagreement between what your inner being knows about the same subject and what you are allowing yourself to know about the same subject. Your inner being knows something that you're not allowing yourself to know about this same subject. So when you have fear of more clients, that's that imbalance, that's time shortageness. That's time shortageness, that's energy shortageness. But can you feel how energy shortageness goes away when you are consistently 3-4, 3-4, 3-4, step 3-4, 3-4 in that replenishing mode? Haven't you shown that to yourself? Haven't you awakened in the morning on your way to rendezvous with someone that you really want to be with, on your way to do something you really want to do, and don't you find yourself with boundless energy? Don't you sometimes find yourself just eager about it? You're chipper, you've got movement, you feel flexible, everything flows well, you move forward in the world, everything cooperates with you because you're tuned in, tapped in, turned on, because you are in anticipation of something that you want. And have you ever got up to go to work and not felt that way? Where you're sort of resistant about going and grumbling about it, and it's like you're just dragging your body through the motions of it, and you get yourself in your vehicle, and thank God your vehicle's got some energy because you don't have any, and you just limply sort of guide yourself to where you need to be and drag yourself through the parking lot, and you say good morning to the people who are there because you're full of resistance. And it doesn't have anything to do with anything except your mindset, you see. You're not allowing yourself to be that cooperative, eager to explore contrast, expansive being that your inner being always bees. You see, always looking for the nugget, always looking for the pleasure, always looking for the benefit, always looking for the exhilaration, always looking for the beauty, always looking for something to appreciate. That's just who you are. And unless you're being that in the moment, then you're dragging a big old lead ball around on your ankle, and you're blaming it on the lead ball, which wouldn't be there if you didn't put it there, you see. Everything is self-imposed. And this conversation, we're so happy to have had it with such intensity because you're going to leave here with a handful, about 5 key elements to this living life successfully, and by that we mean joyfully. And this key that we're talking about here is the balance of in and out. It's the concept of shortage consciousness versus the replenishing consciousness. On just about every subject, whether you talk about money or friendships or clarity, there isn't a subject that doesn't fall into this conversation. There is the allowing of it or the pinching off of it. There's the allowing of it or the pinching off of it. The reason that we began defining to you right from the beginning of our conversations about step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is because we wanted you to realize that in the asking, you summon energy. So the summoning of energy is something that you don't have to consider. You just do it all day, every day. You can't stop summoning energy because you can't stop living life, and you can't stop focusing, and you can't stop attracting. You can't stop law of attraction. You can't take yourself out of the game. So here you are summoning energy all the time. That's just a given. It's what you do. You summon it, you summon it, you summon it, you summon it, you summon it. And it's source energy. It's source energy knowing and wanting to blow and flow through you. It's the momentum of all that you've lived before. It's powerful, and it is, you see. So you can't stop. You can't cease the summoning of energy. But you can not allow the energy that you're summoning, and that's what your emotions are all about. To the degree that you allow the energy that your life is summoning, you feel fantastic. But if you don't allow the energy that you are summoning, you feel lethargic, you feel exhausted, you feel a depletion of energy. And it's not because there's a depletion of energy, it's because there's a false stopping of the energy that you've summoned. It's like pulling and pushing it at the same time. But here's the thing that we really want you to hear. The summoning of energy always will win. That's a momentum that's bigger than you can even get your thoughts around. The momentum of your bigness, the momentum of your longevity, the momentum of your eternalness. This is a really, really big energy that you're coming to terms with now. So when you're born with big purpose like you are, and you pick up thoughts along your physical trail that say, I'm not good at this and I'm not worthy, so that you block the energy that you've naturally summoned, then you feel belligerent and uncomfortable. But when you are allowing the energy that you've naturally summoned to flow, then you are thriving and you're successful and you're happy. You see what we're getting at? So it doesn't matter what's happened to you in your physical body. It doesn't matter how ornery or worried or negative or fearful or happy or appreciative or loving you've been. Nothing matters that happened before this now, when you have control of what you do with the energy that you've summoned. Right here and now, you have some control about the energy that you've summoned. You can let it in or not. And the more of it you learn to let in through practice, the more you thrive and the better you feel, the more vital you are and the better life is, and the more sweet spots you stand in, the more you rave about the beauty of your life. And the more you don't let it in, then the more pessimistic you become, the more controlling you try to be, the more ornery you are, the more unpleasant you feel, and on and on and on. It's all about what you're doing in the now. So are we in some form of agreement? Do you accept that the energy is flowing and that you've been summoning it? Yes. And do you accept that it was flowing even before you got here in this physical body? Do you accept the momentum of the energy that's flowing? And do you accept that your inner being is in on all of that, flowing with the energy, flowing with it to you, consciousness flowing, it's energy flowing. And so then do you accept that you have some sort of relationship with that energy that is summoning, that you can't stop from summoning? It's inevitable. You have summoned it. It's inevitable. But what am I doing with it now? And if you want to know, as you said to us, and someone else did too, if you want to know what you're doing with the energy that you've summoned, oh, what a momentum. Lifetimes of momentum, lifetimes of goodness, lifetimes of expectation. Talk about momentum. Not just what you've added in this physical time-space reality. This momentum of who you are and what you're about. If you want to know what you're doing as you meet the energy, if you want to know, 2 ways to know. How do you feel? And how are the manifestations of your life presenting themselves to you? Isn't that nice to know? And isn't it nice to know that you can do something about it now? Do you think you have the ability to be a little bit more optimistic? Even when it's hard, do you think you have the ability to be? Can you speak more positive words? Can you stop arguing for your limitations? Can you look for reasons to feel good? Can you get an early start on it? Can you get a good night's sleep? Can you get up and look for good things to feel good about it? Can you get some positive momentum going within yourself? Can you match the momentum that's coming? Not right all at once, you can't, because it's really a whale in energy and it's flowing. You're going to have to find some way to get up to speed with it. You do it in part coming to something like this. You're getting up to speed with the energy that you are in this conversation that we're having together. You are. You can feel it in yourself, can't you? Can't you feel yourself becoming clearer and surer about things? Don't you feel like you know things that you didn't know even a few hours ago? Don't you feel more confident? Aren't you feeling the energy flowing? You are. You're allowing more of it to flow through you because you've been listening. Now you could go to a concert and listen to that. You could go swim with the dolphins and do that. You could put your feet in a stream that is flowing. There are so many ways to get yourself up to speed with this energy that's flowing. But friends, nothing less will do. You've got the energy that creates worlds flowing through you, you see. You've summoned more than you are right now allowing. And that's true of almost every person that we ever visit with. Esther too. You summon more than you allow, and then you don't feel good. But the option isn't to settle down. The option isn't to try to summon less. Only option is to get up to speed with what lifetimes of you have summoned for you.